Hi, and welcome to another episode of Atkins Diet Misconceptions. My name is, of course, Ken Taltona, and this week's episode comes out of comments that I've received. And it's come in a multitude of comment forums over the years, and it's always like, such as this. My friend says that Atkins Diet works better for men than it does on women. Or Atkins Diet works for young people better than it is for old people. Or it works better for morbidly obese people than it does for just slightly obese people. And the question comes, does Atkins Diet work better for some people than other people? And the first thing I'd like to say about this is usually it comes with a bit of self-doubt, because it's always the person that's supposedly not in the well-performing group saying this. It's somebody who's perceptually trying to find an excuse for why it may not be working for them that might be asking me the question, or trying to perhaps sow those seeds of self-doubt in their mind that maybe Atkins isn't the right diet for them. So let me say this and foremost, Atkins Diet works for each and everybody who's willing to follow the rules. It works without a question for those people who are willing to eat those things that are allowed on the Atkins Diet and follow the rules on the Atkins Diet, the few rules that are there. So that said, let's take this into two chunks. Let's take the men and women argument as being the first differentiator. Does the Atkins Diet work just as well on the female gender as it does on the male gender? And there's been a number of studies that have evaluated females on the Atkins Diet as well as males on the Atkins Diet. One, for instance, was called the role of critical visceral adipose threshold tissue in metabolic syndrome, implications of controlling dietary carbohydrates, a review by S Freedland. And he reviewed some Jeff Volek studies that showed that these people on the first time on a low carbohydrate diet, they randomly picked 15 people of each gender and placed them on the Atkins Diet. And those people showed significant loss of trunk fat, or fat surrounding their abdominal regions, on the low carbohydrate diet than on the low fat diet of the control group. And the amount of weight loss or fat tissue lost in both sides, on both males and females, was greater on using low carbohydrate diet than it was on the low fat diet, proving that both genders were just as successful. Let's go to another study, the comparison of Atkins Zones, Ornish, and Learned diet for change in weight and related risk factors in overweight premenopausal women. And this was a very famous study that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine, and they showed that the weight loss for these women was the greatest on following the Atkins Diet, as well as they showed other health benefits over and above just simply the weight loss for these Atkins Diets. So they proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Atkins Diet does work for women. And finally, let's deal with the weight loss, the famous study that was released a couple years ago from the Israeli people that modeled their diet after the Atkins Diet versus a Mediterranean diet versus the low-fat diet. And then among the 277 male participants, the mean weight loss for those people on the low-carbohydrate diet was 4.9 kilograms over the 24 months. For the females that were following the diet, the mean weight loss was the greatest in the low-carbohydrate diet, but was only 2.4 kilograms over the 24 months. I can hear you saying, aha, there's a difference there. The women were less successful on the low-carbohydrate diet than were the men. Well, that's true. However, the person with the greatest weight loss happened to be a woman on the low-carbohydrate diet. So not only does it work for women, they also saw greater success over and above what the men did. And finally, there was another study that tracked the effects of the low-carbohydrate diets versus low-fat diets on weight loss and cardiovascular risk factors, and that was published in the AMA journal. And they did a meta-analysis of all the randomized studies that put low-carbohydrate against low-fat, and they noted that also that the lack of differentiation between the male and the females within the studies. So by and large, there is no difference between, like I said, a male and female on a low carbohydrate plan. It can work for both of them. Like I said more than once, my mentor, the guy or the person that inspired me to lose weight, besides my brother, was in fact a woman. I knew that if she could indeed lose the weight, with her having rheumatoid arthritis, I could indeed lose the weight, being a young guy of 33 years old. So that said, now that we've excluded gender as being a differentiating factor, what about amount of weight to lose? Does Atkins work better for the morbidly obese versus the slightly obese? Or vice versa, does it work better for those that only have 20 pounds to lose versus those that have 100 pounds to lose? And really, in my mind, there really is no difference. I know just as many successful people that only had 20 to 30 to 40 pounds to lose than those that had mega amount to lose, like myself, that had 200 pounds to lose. There are simply more people who have had chances at success at getting to goal with those 20 to 40 pounds to lose. That said, I've seen people that probably only have 20 to 40 pounds to lose perhaps not have the same commitment that those people that have the mega amount of weight to lose, that are seeing the effects of their morbid obesity each and every day, that have convinced them that they seriously need to change their relationship with food. Sometimes those that only have 20 to 40 pounds to lose aren't as perhaps committed to make those drastic commitments for during those first 2 weeks to dramatically change your relationship to food, to give up all those former comfort foods. Sometimes I've seen those people that have lots to lose, those that have actually hit rock bottom and are forced to make those difficult choices, more committed to make those hard choices, to endure the induction flu and not perhaps want to seek shortcuts to the weight loss. So, does it work for both of them? Certainly. In these randomized controlled diets that I just talked about in the last section between the males and the females, the majority of the diets the majority of these trials were focused on people that were not morbidly obese, and each and every one of them showed a success factor more for the low carbohydrate diets than over the low fat diet. So even for the less morbidly obese people, just slightly obese people, we're seeing great success on the low carbohydrate diet as well. Well, I hope this reaches everybody in good health, and if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment section below. Talk to you guys later. Bye.